Good morning. It's a happy, sensational Saturday. And guys, some more truth on the real estate, the overall economy, loan interest rates, and mortgages, and where they're headed, and the stock market. We've got to tie it all in, right? The real estate market with the economy, so with the lending mortgage rates, and with the stock market, S&P, NASDAQ, etc. So let's get to it, guys. I do a lot of study of this. I don't take one or two different little articles that I want to hear. I want to know the truth. Tied in with KMJ Radio, a lot of economists and professionals around the nation in every area of their expertise, and I combine it on this show. Buyer to do your due diligence. And this is the information that I've just received in the last 48 hours, and I want to give it to you. So buyers, sellers, investors, and real estate, since I'm a real estate professional, can utilize this truthful information to decide when it's the right time to buy, sell, or invest in the real estate market. And when you want to do stocks, how's the economy looking? How are the interest rates looking? Let's do it all. Less than 8 minutes. I'm going to move quickly, guys. Grab your coffee, grab your cold drink, grab your pen and paper, your tablet, and let's get to work, guys. Greg Reitz real estate team here in Fresno, California, in our office, rocking and rolling on a Saturday, where we give you the truth in the economy. Let's go. Okay, the economy. Let's start there. 4 areas I'm going to hit: the overall economy, real estate market, loan rates, and stock market. Okay, we'll start with economy first. Inflation is running between 8 and 18%, depending on what products you're talking about. It is a difference there. They're saying that it's an 8.6% inflation rate, when actually overall it's higher. Like the last time you went to the store and bought meat, a steak used to be $6.99 a pound for ribeye. Now it's $12.99. That's not 8%, right? More like 20. So we have to tell the truth on the inflation rate. It's between 8 and 18%. All right. That's caused the feds to do something with the rates that I'll explain a little while when I get to the interest rates. Okay. So inflation is up and it's still ticking up. Not fast, but it's still going up slowly. Okay. That being said, food, clothing, and is up about 10 to 15%, and gas is double the price what it was 17 months ago. That's the truth. We understand that. Every time we go to the pump, or every time we buy food or clothes, we can see the inflation rising, right? Okay. That ties in with the fears. We have fears right now. We have people, I have clients, I have people in the market, buyers, sellers, investors, a professional agent, broker. I deal with dozens and dozens of clients weekly. Knowing that, they're coming to me with fears of recession, the almighty recession, right? So let's explain that so you can calm the fears, okay? A recession, the definition of a recession is 2 quarters of gross domestic product under about 3% or declining. We have to have that. We'll know at the end of June, the second full quarter of this year, physical quarter, that we're in a bona fide recession, which all indications show that we are. It's not a heavy recession. It's not a depression. It's not like 2008 to 2011. There's not foreclosures happening. People have jobs. The job economy is solid, okay? But it looks like we're in a light recession. It'll continue to head that direction. That's good, because that will correct the inflation, right? And help the overall economy in a reasonable amount of time, which is good. So sometimes you need a light recession just to keep things balanced and corrected. That's good. So the GDP is down. Looks like we're in a real recession here. We'll know that for sure. But all economists are saying we're already in a light one, which is good. We don't want a heavy one. We want a light one. Get things balanced out, corrected, and continue to move on without a bunch of challenges and issues in the marketplace. The third thing I want to talk about, stock market. The NASDAQ is down. All of these tie in together. The economy ties in with real estate. The stock market ties in with both of those also, and then mortgage interest rates also. So we have to talk about the stock market. The NASDAQ, and I'm using December of 2021 to be the highest point in the stock market. S&P, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, all of it, okay? So let's look at this. The NASDAQ is down 30%. Right now, this week, is 30% down from what it was in December of 2021 or 6 months ago. 30%. The S&P is down 21%. Again, from December of 2021, right? Guys, that is not to the bottom. Now, we don't have a crystal ball, but we can look at past economies and light recessions and dips in the marketplace to see what we believe is going to happen as professionals. Now, I'm not a stockbroker. I lean on the economists and professionals that I know and big companies nationally that I get my information from. And they expected, in most of the stockbrokers and the big companies believe we're going to be right about the 40%, 35 to 42% slide in the stocks from the height of the market. So the height of the market in stocks was December 2021. We can agree on that. We're down 30% on NASDAQ and 21% on the S&P. That being said, you can see we have 10% more on the NASDAQ to drop and 19% on the S&P. If they're saying it's about 35 to 40%, which is what they're saying, before it hits the bottom, we still have about a 10 to 19% slide, depending if you're talking about NASDAQ or S&P, but they're talking about the stock market overall. So we probably have another 10 to 19% to slide here, guys, before the stock market hits the bottom. All right? Little correction going on in the stock market. But guys, we had all-time highs, breaking records. So a little correction is no big deal. Just like a little correction in the real estate market is not a big deal. It's not going to be a crash. I'll get to that in a minute. But we got to get the reality of what's going on here so you can make a well-versed, educated decision that now really is the time to buy, sell, or invest. Sure it is. I'm doing it. All right. We got the stock market down. Okay. We just talked about that. Okay. So the overall economy is based on all of these different factors that I just shared, and that affects then the real estate abilities of buyers and sellers to do what they need to do in real estate, and interest rates plays a part in that part. So right now, let's talk about the mortgage rates. According to my lenders of choice in the area and nationally, we're looking at 5.25%, 5.25 to 5.99%. So, yeah, 5.25 to 5.99% on a 30-year fixed with decent credit, conventional FHA, USDA, different loan types. So I give you a variance of 5.25 to 5.996%, depending on the client, the down payment, and the loan type. Now, that being said, they just went up about a half a point, 3/4 of a point. They had built that in already, so the rates really didn't go up so much on the real mortgage rate. However, those rates are 5.25 to 6%, and the feds are talking about raising those another half a basis point the next two meetings, which is going to happen within the next 90 days from right now. So you can expect in the next 90 days, or right about the end of summer, let's say October or sooner, 5.25 to 6% will probably be 6% to 6.75% or 6 to 7%. That makes a difference in the payment. Not a huge difference, because we can usually negotiate the home price down to accommodate for that higher interest rate in many cases, which is good news for the buyers. That being said, that's what's coming. That's what most economists, mortgage brokers, and bankers are telling me with my sources that I talk to, and there's quite a few reputable ones that I speak to. All right, so we know where the rates are headed. Up probably another point in the next 90 days or the end of summer. What does that do to the real estate market? What does that mean to you as a buyer, as a seller, an investor? Well, investors, if the rates are going up, then we know that we're going to, and buyers, you're going to pay a little bit more for that property, whatever it is, because the rates are a little bit higher. We understand that. So you get less buying power on the actual product, more towards the interest. In some cases, it's good because you get a bigger tax benefit and write-off, right, on that. However, less buying power on the product you're buying. The good news is we're able right now to negotiate with sellers down on price slightly to compensate or help compensate the buyer for those higher interest rates. So the market in real estate is no longer going up. In Fresno, California, and in most places in the nation, the market is actually receding a little bit, and slightly, very slowly correcting. In some places, it's stabilized. Okay, so stabilization or slight correction, not a crash. A crash in real estate, so I want you guys to understand this. I hear crash, not going to happen. A crash is 20% or more, just like the stock market. When people say the stock market's going to crash, it's 20% or more, right? It's called a bear market from the height of the market, which has now happened in the stock market. The bear market crash, it has happened. It is 20%, 21 to 30% lower than it was in December. So that's happened. In real estate, we use the same ideals. 20% drop is a crash within a reasonable amount of time from the height of the market, which was about February of 2022. We're now towards the end of June, right? So March, April, May, June, 4 months later, and we've got a stabilization in prices in Fresno, California. However, we are negotiating prices at or slightly below asking to compensate for those real estate loan rates going up. All right. And knowing that the rates are going to continue to go up, in most likelihood, now is the time to buy, buyers. Negotiate that right deal. Secondly, we have a 43% increase as of today in Fresno, Madera counties, 43% more active and available inventory than we had in the end of March, beginning of April. So April, May, and June, almost 3 months, 43% more inventory. So easy to understand numbers. If we had 100 properties active on the market, we now have 143 properties on the market. So buyers have many more choices now. You can actually go and look at 3 to 5 houses with your agent when you look at properties versus 1 or 2. It's a huge difference. There's plenty out there. Buyer activity, how is it going? Is it strong? Buyer activity is still very strong. Okay, it was incredibly breaking records 6 months ago. So that was historic records of buyer activity. Now we've got a normal real estate market where real buyers that want to buy are taking advantage of the prices they can negotiate. Still good, decent interest rates at 5.25% to 6%, and getting opportunities with closing costs paid and better prices on houses. So that's the good news. Let's talk about new home starts. New home starts, Fresno, Madera, California, about 8% drop in new housing starts from new developers. Nationally, slowdown is between 8 and about 16%. Nationally, the housing starts on new construction slowing down. Okay, buyer activity is still strong. It's slowed down a little bit in the last 3 months in Fresno, Madera County, and that's because the interest rates going up 2.5% from 3% to 5.5%, let's say, have disqualified some of the buyers from being able to buy on the price of the houses. That's why you're able to negotiate with some sellers to buy the interest rate down, get the price right on the house, so that buyers can still qualify for that house. We're experts at that. Okay, I want to talk about the home prices really have stabilized in Fresno, Madera County, and we are negotiating for our buyers, and sellers understand that what's happening with that, so they're willing to work with the buyers. They also have to move and do what they need to get done, so they'll negotiate with buyers in most cases. All right. Knowing where all this is going, the interest rates, the economy, the stock market, and real estate, it's important to realize that the rates are going to be going up. The economy is still pretty strong, and there's a light recession that we're kind of in right now. We're looking at a good stabilization right now. I believe the market's going to stay fairly healthy, and most economists do too, that we're not going to have a crash or collapse. So the buyers in real estate, I want to clear this up. There is no crash coming because it's not going to drop 20% in real estate. That's what that means. You might have a period of 1 to 2 years from the height of the market, it drops 20%. There's not an economist that I'm aware of in any sector of real estate or brokers that believe that. So there's no signs to show that. People have jobs, people are paying their mortgages, things are going pretty good. Inflation and consumer confidence has dropped a little bit because of that higher rate, right? and inflation and gas price of fuel and stuff. But that won't drop 20% of the market. So we're looking at an honest amount of maybe 5 to no more than 15, but probably 5 to 12% correction of price in homes, if it happens to that extent, over the next 2 years. Okay, so let's say a $400,000 house, the average medium home price in Fresno is about 413,000, 420, let's say, might be 380 in 2 years, maybe 400. It may drop 5 to 10%. So you may get down as low as 380, 385 on a 420 home now. But the interest rate's going to be a half a point of interest makes up that difference. 1 point makes it even more expensive. So the price of the homes going down in layman's terms has to go over the interest rate hikes that the feds are going to do to curb inflation to get the same payment. So hopefully that's understandable. That's not likely to happen. So that's why it's time to buy now, buyers. And let me explain one more thing. I've been in real estate for decades. In my family and a lot of people that I know, and I talk to a lot of professionals and professional economists nationwide, I can say this with my heart. Now is the time to buy, buyers. Buyer beware. The rates are going to go up a little bit more, like I said. That being said, the price of the homes are not going at any corrected price will not compensate for that higher rate. They usually won't. So now is the time. And I want to tell you something else, very important. If you go back 30, 35 years in the United States, interest rates will go between 5.25% and 6.75%. Write that down. 5.25% and 6.75%. Those are standard, normal, good interest rates for the United States. All the feds want to do is get back to a normal interest rate. I bought 2 houses, one in about 1997. I paid 6.25%. I was happy and doing backflips to pay 6.25% with my brand new first home, 1997. In 2005, I sold that and bought another home in the country. I moved up. I paid at that time 5.75. So in 1997, 6.25% on a 30-year fixed. In 2005, I paid 5.75 on a 30-year fixed. The Great Depression, 2008 to 2011, we saw the interest rates drop, in the 4s and 5s, right? Well, 4.5 to 5.5. And then again in 2014 and so till now, if they've been fluctuating between 3% or 2.75 and 4%. 2.75 and 4% from, let's say, 2013 till now, 2022. But anything under 4.5 is not normal, guys. This probably won't happen. It may not even happen in our lifetime again to get down to 3 or 3.5. Those are fictitious, crazy interest rates because of COVID and different things that happen. Don't expect those to come back. It's not likely. Do I think the markets will cycle? Absolutely. Interest rates are going to cycle. They always do. But we're talking a cycle average 30-year span of 4.5% on the low to 6.25%. So let's say a buyer purchases a home now and they're at 6.25%, 5.5%, and they want to refinance it. It may drop back down to 4 or 5 years to get the economy spurred back up, right? After the inflation economy corrects a little bit, then we'll have that most likely a lower interest rate to get the economy going again. But it won't take that 2.5%, 3.5% to do that. It'll probably be more normal, like 4.5 to 5. So then you can refinance buyers at that time and take advantage of that cyclical lower interest rate to spur the economy again. So that's the truth of everything, guys. Here now is the time sellers to sell because rates are likely going to go up. The buyer's going to be watching that. You have consumer confidence. You have the economy. You have the light recession. You have the stock market. So sellers, top right now, time to sell is now for all the reasons I just explained. You might want to be a little bit reasonable with the buyers. They'll move that product so you can move to where you want to go. We're here to help you do that. Buyers, it's a great time to buy before interest rates go up. We all know this is coming even more. That being said, buy now, take advantage of the interest rates today, the pricing today, so that you can get where you need to go. Sellers, we already explained why it's a good time for you to sell. Okay. The best time to sell was February 2022. You haven't sold. Now's the next best time, because it's not going to get any better for the sellers. Time is not on the seller side right now. Time's neither on the buyer side, because the rates are going up. So let's get this done. Sell and buy now. Investors, you know the game. It's all about the numbers. What's my ROI, return on investment? What's the P&L, profit and loss statement, look like? Gross and net profits on the property. What's my net return? What's my cash on cash return on that multi-unit, on that commercial building, on that single family rental? What is my cash on cash return? What is my ROI? What am I looking at on that? So interest rates play a role in that? I guess not really. What you're really looking for is the best return on investment and your return on that property, on your net. We can help you do that. We do a lot of investors. We do apartment buildings across the United States, a lot here in California, multifamily. We work with a lot of investors. So regardless of the interest rates, I don't care about those. I want to get you the right return on your investment, investors. So call now. Let's get it going. Buyers, sellers, investors, let's get it going. I told you the truth on what's happening. Let's go. Know the truth, and let's get this done. Buyers, sellers, investors, call now. Greg Reitz, 559-260-1777. 559-261, lucky 777. I look forward to talking with you and getting this job done for you. Have a great day. It's been a wonderful, what I call a sensational Saturday. The Reitz Real Estate Team, EXP. License number 01878277017388943. And we'll talk to you soon. God bless. Have a great day. And let's get this real estate sold.